Hello everyone, Dr. Kristen Mudge here, and I'm going to walk you through building a pie chart and a histogram in Excel. So for this I have a sample set of data that looks quite similar to what you'll be working with this week. I have age, which is a continuous variable, and race, which is a nominal variable, and those are the two that we're going to focus on today. So because race is nominal, it's going to be really easily represented with a pie chart. So I'm going to go ahead and set up for building a pie chart. I'm going to create some bin categories over here, so I'm just going to label it race right here. And there are 3 to choose from, so 1 was white, 2 was black, and 3 was other, just like you will find. Now I'm going to also set up categories for my age over here. And for that, I've already sorted the data from lowest to highest. You can do that with the sort and filter feature over here in Excel. Just make sure that when you sort data, you select all of the data and sort by the individual column that you're focusing on. That way, the appropriate variables stay with that individual. So this starts at 18, and I can see that it goes all the way up to 68. We can create one bin for each age, and that's absolutely fine. What you do is start with 18, go to 19, 20, etc., all the way up. But for the purposes of this video, I'm actually just going to do smaller age categories. So I'm going to start at 20 and go to 25, and we'll do 5-year increments. Okay, so I have set up my bins for everything, and so my next step is going to be to go to this data tab, click on data analysis, and I am building a histogram for both of these. So this is one of the easiest ways to create the charts that you're going to need for everything. So my input range for this, I'm going to start with the race category, and I'm just going to select that whole column because I know there's nothing underneath where the data set ends, so all those blank cells won't make any difference in the frequency. For the bin range, I'm going to go ahead and select these right here. Make sure that this labels button is checked, and the reason that I say that is because I've included that header category in my input range. So this is just letting Excel know that you already created a label for it. The output range is just wherever you want that chart to be built, so I'm going to select a square on the screen right here. And make sure that this chart output is included. That's what's going to build the actual graphic visual. If you don't have that, it'll just create the frequency table. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And here's my histogram and frequency chart. Now, you might say, I said I was building a pie chart for this, and I absolutely am, but the histogram feature is where we want to start with. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here really quick. I'm going to get rid of this more category because I won't actually need it. And so that leaves me with my 3 categories for race. Now I'm going to right click on this chart and change the chart type to a pie chart. For me, I'm just going to click a 2D chart, and there you go. We have the histogram. Now to change the labels on this, which is really, really important for your projects, we're going to double click on the title, and we're going to call this race frequency. Now these beautiful icons over here say 1, 2, and 3. That means nothing to a person who's looking at this chart unless you already know what 1, 2, and 3 represent. So we want to change these labels so that if you look at it, you know what that 1 means white. We do that over here in this frequency table that Excel built for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that race category 1 and replace it with the word white. For 2, I'm going to say black, and for 3, I'm going to put other, and we see that the data labels changed over here. Now there's fancy stuff that you can do with these, make them 3D, get percentages added in. I'm not too worried about the fancy part of it. I just need you to make the charts reflect what they're supposed to reflect. So we have good labels here. Now in APA formatting, when you put these into a Word doc, you'll also have to include the caption at the bottom in APA format. So make sure you take a look at the guide for that so that you know specifically how that looks. Okay, I'm going to move on to my age category next. And I'm going to select histogram again. Now I'm going to change my input range to be column A, and my bin range is going to be this right here that I created. And let's put my output range right here. Make sure that that chart output is selected. Click OK. And bam, we have a bar chart. So same process for this chart. What we're going to do for this is double click on the bars inside the graph. I'm going to do this because age is a continuous variable, so we actually want to eliminate all of this space in between the bars for each of the bin categories. So I'm going to go up here to this bar tab and change the gap width to 0%. And then we see that now it looks like a continuous variable. There's no space between 20 and 25. But I also want to change these labels down here to reflect that we are looking at an age category and not just a single age. So I'm going to go back in here and change each of these labels 18 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 30, and so on down the line. And so now we can see that these labels have changed to better reflect the age category. So you would just go ahead and change all of those. And again, when you do your reports, make sure to include a screenshot of both this frequency table and the histogram, and then label them appropriately in APA format. And we do that because it gives us a feel for the data. We can look and see the raw numbers, and then we can also see what those look like on the histogram. So that's it. That the only difference between the bar chart and the histogram is the gap between each of the bars. So if you have an ordinal variable, something like the Likert scale answers 1 through 5, you would leave the space between those bars. And so that's it. Don't forget to change your labels here. We're going to use age frequency. And that's it. That's the basics of building a pie chart and a histogram. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Let me know, and I'm happy to help.